Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending where you are in the world. Happy Sunday, Two Legs family. Andy Nichols here from the Two Legs podcast on the 1st of June, 2025. June already, baby. Happy Sergeant Pepper release day, anniversary day in the UK. As you can see, a lot of us have seen on our social media pages. It's been 8 years since the release of this baby. Wow. Happy to be here again with the Sunday family. Got a full slate of topics today. And of course, the second week of our trivia segment, which was a lot of fun last week, which we'll be revisiting again. And to you, Joe Mayo, I say, you know what? On time can be whatever you want it to be in podcast land, okay? I just heard your last message. I'm sorry I wasn't, on at 11:30, but it's my show and I can adjust it accordingly. Listen, if it was work, different story. Okay? It's a live podcast show. I'm sorry you're bored out of your mind in your whatever room up there, but hopefully you're tuned in now. Hello, Brad. Yes, more trivia is coming. Mr. Martinez, doing well. Denny Lane in 2018, saw him that year as well. Denny did something by George. The MVP is driving, but listening. Good morning, MVP. Hello, Joe. Cannot believe it's June already. Got to wait to see what's coming from the Wings camp. We shall see. Lynn, one of our Sunday fam and Patreons and Discord members. Hi, Lynn. Good to see you here today. Mr. Liverani, hello. Thanks for your recent comment on our most recent episode on Two Legs, Chaos and Creation at Abbey Road, which was great fun watching that again. And again, how often do you revisit these things? Not too often. So when you get a chance to revisit it, it's nice. Yes, my partner in crime is feeling better with his nice one-to-one military shirt. I thought it was a Lennon shirt when I saw him doing it the other day, but it's nice. He got it at a Paul concert. Yep, on the island. Susan Gagney. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hello, Jeffrey, Lynette, Mr. Waljasper. Tis. They do happen. I don't think so. Let's get the rest of the reissues done first before we go back to his 60th anniversary. Hello, Beck. Love your avatar. Christian. Loved your comment too. You hadn't seen the Chaos documentary before, so that was your first time because you are a younger fan. Hello there, Dad. Hope you're resting today and chilling after a late night. My mom and dad and me and the MVP went to go see the Fab Four last night at the State Theater in New Brunswick, and they performed A Hard Day's Night in Abbey Road in its entirety. Those guys never disappoint. They have been playing as a band since 1999. And for my money, they are still the best Beatles tribute band out there, bar none. No costumes, no wigs, no nothing. Just the music, faithfully reproduced and played with care and love. Fantastic band, and they never disappoint. I remember the first time I ever saw them play was at the Queens College in 2006. General admission, $20. They opened up with Tomorrow Never Knows with this megaphone, and I'm like, I've never seen a Beatles tribute band do any of this stuff before. Fantastic band. Love when they do thematic type shows. Their White Album show usually is at the end of the year. Don't think they're doing one this year, but that is fantastic. They are the absolute best. Yeah. Very quick week here, as they tend to fly by. There's Ted, another one of our Patreons and Discord family members who joins our listening party. Elliot, hello, sir. Thank you. Love Two Legs in the work you and Tom have done over the years. Been watching you yourself. I'll thank you for the support, Beck. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. Tom and I do our content individually, and then we kind of line up to do shows when we can. It's where we're at these days. And I did see a comment on something that said, "Oh, we've changed our format." We actually haven't changed our format, but this is a hobby. So when our schedules line up to record, we do. And that's why, if you noticed, Tom goes live during the week and I go live on Sundays, because that's just how it is sometimes, given our schedules. They absolutely are. Ted, how many times have you seen them? It did. It certainly did. No thanks to the help of the announcement of the reissue of the Beatles in mono vinyl box set. Hello, Rick. Another Patreon sub. Hello. FAUX, Jeff. FAUX. And it is a kind of a band of full of professional musicians that just do this on the side. Will Lee, the bassist, who has played with everybody, including Paul McCartney. Frank Agnello, Jack Petrozelli, Jimmy Vivino on guitar. Will Lee used to be the bassist in the Letterman Band with Paul Schaefer. Vivino was the guitarist on the Jay Leno Show. And the drummer is Rich Pagano. And that is the core of the band. They are fantastic. They've been playing together forever. Rich Pagano actually fronts another band called the Early Elton Trio that he does with two other guys. And I've seen him with that outfit as well, too. So these guys are like professional musicians and they actually just do this on the side. Yeah. He has played. He's played with everybody. Will Lee, I think, is the guy that really he's the front guy. He's the guy that kind of directs the show, and he's their musical director. Yeah. Not one of my favorite songs, but they do a great job at the end of that song. I mean, they nailed I Want You, She's So Heavy by building it up, building it. It's not one of my favorite songs on Abbey Road, but they do such a great job recreating everything, especially that song with the sound effects and the noises and the white noise you hear, and all of a sudden it just stops as side one ends, and they faithfully reproduce it, even though it's not one of my favorite tracks on Abbey Road. They do it awesome. Do they do When I'm 65? Well, when they played Pepper, they have. I've seen them just do just about every album. They are very good. Yeah, they are very good. I saw them do a show probably in the late early 2000s when they did a show called Hot as Sun, and what would have been the next Beatles album after Let It Be. One of the best shows ever. I think they opened up with Mother. Great show. I like it. I like what I've heard. I like the new Elton album. I like the production on Hackney Diamonds. The couple, the ones. I mean, again, I'm not an avid Stones fan. I listened to it once or twice, and I was happy with it. But I like what I hear. I like this record. I like the Elton record better. So looking forward to what we hear. Saw them in 2015. Yeah. Yeah, well, not this band, because I know what you mean, James, because they're all about the wigs and dressing up in costumes across the Beatles period timeline. This band doesn't do that. It's all about the music, and that's why I like them. And I'm not big on Beatles tributes either, but these guys are worth it to go see them. I've seen them again in 2 weeks up at the Capitol Theater in our friend Janet Davis's territory, so we'll see you in a few weeks. But yeah, how did we all fare with the mono reissue? Had it, didn't get it. What say you? I know we did a video on Hands Across the Water about it. Curious out there if you guys grabbed it, because the announcement of this thing has been so odd. You had to get an email that was in your kind of promotionals or social thing if you've ordered from thebeatles.com. It's not on the Beatles.com website, and it's already sold out. It's weird. It's a very weird rollout that's already gone. Owen Ling from Dublin, Ireland, loves Beatles tribute bands, ELO, Oasis, and Arctic. Yeah, well, that's what's happening these days now. The tribute acts are fetching top dollar. Zeppelin tribute bands, Queen tribute bands, because that's all that's left. So if they come around, that's who you go see, to varying degrees of success. It's funny, though, this salty couple behind us was kind of just like poo-pooing the Fab Four. My father turned around and gave him a glance. Like, what are you listening to? They don't sound that good. I like, leave already then if you don't like the show. Very annoying. Very annoying. Susan already had it, so you didn't buy another. Ted got it. Lynette got it. Woohoo! Had to jump on that thing. Had to jump on that thing quickly. Whoo! Liverpool, the band covered Come On To Me only a month after. Wow. Would be interesting to see how many sold. Yeah, would be. Tom has the mono CD box, which is here. Not a vinyl collector. I'm just happy it's in print. Yeah. Hello, Serge. Serge with his great suggestions and links on our Discord. There's another member of our Patreon for a long time. Yeah. Yeah, the mics were in and out last night. You could tell they were a little frustrated by that. I could have fixed it. A little bit. Their mics kept cutting in and out. And they encored with All You Need Is Love and Penny Lane. I guess Paul is a Beatles and Wings tribute band. No. Hello, Scotty O'Rourke. What are you guys doing today, Mom and Dad? Just chilling after your night out last night? Probably. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll get to that later. Yeah. May 26th, 2017, this baby came out that started everything. The Pepper Archive box set. And as we said, I think Beatley Tone said on one of his videos, it's great, but they were still kind of working on the formula on how to make these things. You didn't get a vinyl bundled in with this. The vinyl came separately, which they then perfected later on with Let It Be and then Revolver. So, hello, Brad. Yes, he did. Oh, Tony gave everybody a big heads up with that to go and get it. Tom says, with the Zach and Who debacle, do you think he'll make an appearance during Ringo's upcoming tour? I don't think so. I think Zach will kind of let Dad do Dad and Ringo does Ringo. I don't think he'll jump on. You never know, though. Yeah. I think they made a decision. Yeah, I agree with Owen there. They're going to keep, I kind of think Ringo lets his son do his own thing and vice versa. I want to see an appearance in 2 weeks' time by somebody else at that Ringo concert at Radio City Music Hall. Come on, he's in New York like every other day. It does, you're right. It absolutely does seem to get a lot less attention in the wake of even Revolver and Abbey Road and Let It Be. But the bonus material on that still is fantastic. And that was the stuff that, when you look back at the anthology, and this is something that Kyle said, Kyle Hand on the Run, looking at it from his perspective, I don't need to listen to the anthology because I have everything I want on the album archive releases. But at the time, that's all we had. And they were really, when you listen to the anthology outtakes now, they were really kind of Frankensteined a little bit. They were not pure. I mean, they were fantastic to listen to at the time because it's what we got. But now that you listen to these full super deluxe archive boxes and you hear the completeness of things, you're like, wow, they really did a kind of a cut and paste job on a lot of those anthology on a lot of the anthology material. Let us pray. Let us pray, baby. Yep. Ringo Starr, Radio City Music Hall, 13th of June. Yep. Zach's drumming style is much closer to Moon than Starr, which the Beatle is perfectly fine with. Sure. Yeah. So, yeah, I think, and having recently done that Hands Across the Water episode where we were, revisiting the box sets, just like we kind of do on Two Legs, it gives us an excuse to dive back into it. So that's what we do. Tony had it playing for a week. I've had it playing for a week. I love that backing. There's an instrumental version of Penny Lane that's just basically the backing track, which is fantastic. It is a dated record. It is a dated record, and it's a record that you listen to, I think, as one complete kind of song cycle. You could listen to a couple tracks on their own, but again, the sum is greater than, everything is better individually. It just is. Susan says it's been her favorite album since 1967, Pure Magic. How many copies do you have, Susan? I did a count this morning. Hold on. We got them here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a Philippines copy. 7, the picture disc. 2012 stereo, and the 2017 double LP. 9. And then that whopper over there. Yeah. That first original mono, this one's one of my favorite ones. One of my pride and joy here. The first pressing of the mono Capital. MAS 2653. Okay. Even though I'm more of a fan of the stereo, this OG mono from Capital is one of my prized possessions. Let's see here. Sgt. Pepper is the first prog rock album. Taylor Hawkins made a similar comment in 2009. I agree with that. You might even say that could be Revolver. Other people might say Pink Floyd's debut album, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, is the first prog album. I would lean towards Revolver. It's here. It's here. It's here, but it's I can't show it because it's beat up to crap. I have it. I have your albums in a separate wing of the house here. That's you, because yours are like, I have yours. I have Dad's albums in a separate crate. Now, Joe says nothing wrong with Pepper sounding like 1967. Why would we want it to sound like today with music that sounds like 2025? Yuck. You don't even have one copy, Lynn? Girl, we got to catch you up. If I can grab it quick, Dad, I'll show it. But I think it's back behind GB's little end table there, in your little nook of Beatles albums. I think it might. It's so beat up. I might go get it though. I can get it quick. I don't want to go off. I don't want to do that too long. Owen says, I suspect the Pepper is proggier than the Gates of Dawn. Floyd didn't embrace prog until they started doing soundtracks, of course, with More and things like that. I agree. Tom Liverani says, do you think there'll be enough? I do. Lynn says, I don't have anything to play an album on a CD or any more. Wow. Okay, but you can get things pretty affordable these days. Susan's got 17 standalone Sgt. Peppers, and I have about six or seven in box. I have about 6 PR7 in box sets. And clarify. I want to try to get my dad's copy real quick. Hold on. Be right back. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Now, oh, wait a minute. Wait. Now, I can't find that, but I can find your original Magical Mystery Tour, which is beat up to all hell. Sorry. See? Beat up. This is your Magical Mystery Tour. Destroyed. Look. See, even your drawings are still on it. But yeah, it's back there somewhere. 6 or 7. Okay. That's that. I was going to say, whoa. Let's see here. Certainly did. It's back there though. In much similar. That's why I keep your original Beatle albums separate. Let's catch back up here. The other major flaw with Pepper is that it doesn't have the emotional undercurrent is heard on. I don't agree with that. It has a tremendous emotional undercurrent. Have you heard a song called Day in the Life? James Boyce had an 8-track. His uncle had an 8-track. Wonder if that played fantastically without flipping over. But yeah, Tom Liverani, I do think, given what we've gotten from these box sets from 2017 on, even just this morning, hot off the heels of the Fab Faux show, I put on disc 2 of the Abbey Road box set of the session outtakes. And you're hearing other versions of Maxwell Silverhammer, Oh Darling, that were not available. So if they have those, then I am sure we have some fantastic outtakes of Wait, and I'm Looking Through You, and things like that. I do. Mom says hi. Hello, Mother. The good thing about a possible Rubber Soul box set is that we didn't get much sessions on Anthology 2. Yes, exactly. No flaws. And again, what do you go back to? What do you go back to now? To me, my go-to listen to a Pepper is what we got in 2017 from Giles. You've got the original mono if you want to hear it. You've got the original stereo if you want to hear it. But to me, with all the go-to now is what we've got. Those are the go-to listens. Susan had to order a special mono Magical Mystery Tour in 67 because the stores only stocked stereo. Well, stereo was beginning to get phased out by then. It was. But yeah, I think let's see, James says, I think Pepper has an emotional resonance for me. It says, as my first Beatles album, a weird first one to be captured by. Nothing weird about that at all. Indeed. But with the vinyl mono box set coming out, it's really July 18th. it'll be there. There you go, Tom. There's the smart answer. No flaws. Absolutely. Yeah, so in 6 weeks' time, we'll have the Beatles in mono vinyl box set again. And I think my buddy Joe Mayo will get it. Jeffrey says one of his favorite collectibles of original Apple items is John and Yoko's Unfinished Music #2, Life with the Lions on cassette on Zapple. Listened to it once a few months ago. Still sucks. Yes. What about Unfinished Music #1? That wonderful piece of music that is, too. Oh, God. But yeah, very comprehensive. And there's the essays and the session notes. You think you read your Lewison books and you read everything about it. I mean, I'm still digesting what's written in these books. They're so comprehensive. The Abbey Road one's a little light on that, but the Pepper box and the White Album boxes and Let It Be and the accompanying, big books that come with these things it's the last word on everything. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of that stuff all together now. Interesting. I don't know. I'm happy that it is left off there, for sure. But moving on. The SHMs for Paul. Still haven't gotten them yet. Tom Liverani and Paul fans. And I know my partner Tom Hunyadi got his. He ordered his through Amazon. I ordered mine through Paul's. I know our good friend Joan. She shared that she got them. Really excited to hear how much brighter those albums sound as well. McCartney 2, Tug of War, Pipes of Peace, Choba, and Flowers. Really excited to hear them. Hopefully maybe they'll come today or the latest tomorrow to crank those up. 35 minutes. Just like a Hard Day's Night. Even last night, the Fab Four. 2.5 minutes. Boom, done. All albums were short. 35 minutes or under. That was it. Hello, Charlie. As a 17-year-old, I was floored the first time I heard Sgt. Pepper in 67. I played it 5 times back-to-back first sitting. Because that's what you did. You played it. You opened it up. You studied the gatefold. You read every lyric, every word, where it was manufactured, the credits. That's things we talk about, the original listening experience. That's what it is. With the success of Ringo's latest LP lookup, do you think he'll add 2 or 3 songs? I do. He already said he's going to play one, so maybe I think he'll throw Time on My Hands in there and maybe Look Up. And that's about it. Yeah, see, this is what I get for being loyal to Paul. I buy them from him directly, and I'm the last to get them. Come on, Macca. Who loves you, babe? Can't I get them first? Of course you do. And I think, Dad, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You're still watching. I think it was the first Beatles album you bought, right? In real time, because you were about 15, 16? No. Yeah. First one that you bought, I think, is what you told me. Yeah, it was. They were. So, Susan, have you played them? Are they just like all the other ones and a little bit brighter and louder? Pipes of Peace and Tug of War, especially, I'm looking forward to hearing. It was. That's what I thought. So, yeah, moving ahead. The SHMs on their way. The album was all about the summer of love. You heard it blasting everywhere from boomboxes and car radios. Absolutely. Kicked off. And yeah, I could agree that it might be the first prog rock album. I think it might be Revolver, but I have no problem with calling Pepper that either. Here's what's coming up this week and getting delivered is something that I want to say, I think our friend Dane on Discord shared with us about a rare album that's out there that I did not know anything about. I hadn't seen it anywhere. So there was one copy available. Take a look at this, okay? Look at this record. Pretty rare. Look at this. This is the Black Dyke Mills Band playing Wings. Look at this. Doing Mull of Kintyre, Band on the Run, Love Awake, Let 'Em In, Big Barn Bend, With a Little Luck, London Town, Jet, My Love, and Listen to What the Man Said. Never heard about this album at all. It came out in 1979. There was one available. I think I got it from Sweden. Was not hugely expensive, but I am so excited to hear what this sounds like. As you know, Paul wrote the song Thingamabob for the Black Dyke Mills Band in 1968, which is on the Best of Apple compilation. So to hear that, and he's retained, he used them a lot during Wings, on Back to the Egg, on various things over the years. So the fact they did a whole album of Wings music, I am super stoked to hear what this sounds like. I haven't even seen it on YouTube or anything. So I want to say thank you to Dane for sharing that little tidbit of information. Yeah, absolutely. WOR. Oh, they play. He's talking about Pepper, right? Let me catch back up here. Personally, I think the side one, hello, Christopher, the side one of Pepper is perfect, but side two is spoiled. You have to be in the right mood for Within You Without You, I think. Owen says, when I interviewed Kevin Godley in 2020, he told me that Pepper was played all over his art college. Of course. Have not. Fledgling FM played the entire album. The first Yellow Submarine soundtrack is underrated. It introduced me to the 11-year-old me to classical music. Yeah, very underrated. The second side, Sea of Holes and Pepperland Laid Waste and all that stuff. Susan says the SHMs are definitely louder. I like them and they're worth getting for those that like physical media. Yes. Or you, like I do, you get it, you put it in, you rip it, and now you have it digitally to take it with you on the run. You're not crazy about those two songs either. Okay. WOR 710. I've actually listened to Wildlife with the Lions more than Paul's Russian album, Run Devil Run. Come on, man. Oh, you don't like 50s covers though. Hello, Matthew. Better late than absent. My check minus for you. You're late. Where's your pass? Where's your hall pass? Come on now. Thanks for being here today. Serge says My Valentine is Paul's most covered song in the last 5 years. Well, a lot of people have done it. And as I said, I went on the record, I like the version with Babs better than the studio version. I do. I like the production on it. Now, as a live piece with Paul's video screen and the miming and the sign language, I think that works much better. I do. Good Morning is a perfect song about boredom. I love Good Morning. I love that song. I've got nothing to say, but it's okay. Better never late. Some weird Beatle cover albums out there. James has a ukulele album of Beatle covers by Cars keyboard player Greg Hawkes. There's a ton out there. Wow. Uke stuff. Charlie says Within You Without You is George's only composition on that album, so it's very relevant. It is. But I wouldn't listen to that song on its own. If I'm listening to Pepper, then I'm listening to Within You Without You. I'm not going to scroll on YouTube or pull up Within Without You on my phone. Within the context of the record, yeah, no problem. Why don't you make a mock Sgt. Pepper track listing with Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane, and Northern Song? That's a good idea. Right now, I've got a couple of things to go over here on the agenda, plus before we even get to trivia, but yeah. Mickey. It's my love-hate affair with Mr. Mickey Dolenz in his hat, walking around the fest like he's too good to say hello to anybody. Please. Mickey, outside of the fest, nobody knows who you are, dude. I was with him on the elevator, though, when Pleasant Valley Sunday came on and he rolled his eyes. That was pretty funny. And then I just left. Well, I wouldn't tell. I'd add Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane, as George Martin said. I would not add Only a Northern Song on Pepper. Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane, home run. Definitely add those on there. I don't skip anything on Pepper. I'm the same with Dark Side of the Moon. Now, there's an album that gets a little bit tired of listening to. The only track from Dark Side I like to come back to with any regularity is Time. I think that's one of the best songs that they ever wrote. There's cleverly done and entertaining videos on YouTube of Off the Earth, 20 Beatles songs in 4 minutes. I just love the fact that we got all of it on that box set. All the outtakes, all of them. When I was younger, I used to skip With and Without You, but as I got older, oh yeah, same, Jeff. With my dad's copy down in our basement, I used to just go, whoop, right to the next one. Christ, I did the same thing with Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road with Funeral for a Friend. That used to freak me out, the beginning few minutes of that song. I used to go right to Love Lies Bleeding because the beginning of Funeral for a Friend used to freak me out. Needle, up, down, skip. Agree. I'd be more inclined to include that on Pepper than Only a Northern Song. But I like where it stays. I like how it's just kind of relegated in that Yellow Submarine territory. Chris Talbot loves every version of My Valentine. Cool. Martinez, Mr. James says, I started really appreciating With and Without You. You know what? That's actually a really good take. On the mashup on Love, that actually has a little more oomph to it. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Matt says, I love Getting Better, but it always gives me pause when he sings. Here we go now. You're going to touch on something here that Mr. Hand and I have talked about. Girl, Cruel to My Woman. Joe, feel free to weigh in here, please. You know, looking at these lyrics in 2025, Kyle's like, he calls these these are John's jealous songs about being, we talked about You Can't Do That and Leaving Her Flat. And I think Kyle was like, what's that mean? Leave her flat? Like, what's he going to do to her? You know, so I think this is a really interesting debate in 2025 to look at these like lyrics. And there was a fest panel about it. John Lennon, Sinner or Saint. You know, John admitted to you that he was probably cruel to women. Okay. But you hear it in music. You hear it in these lyrics. Okay. Run for Your Life is another one. Girl, Getting Better. It doesn't resonate well with people anymore now. And that's okay. I think you have to look at it with context, especially with a song like You Can't Do That, you know? I remember hearing Pepper in its entirety on one of the Boston AM stations, maybe WBZ, one Sunday afternoon in May of 67, well before its release date. Wow, before. Because we know June 1st is the UK release date. America was what? Couple days later, right? Christian said, I don't know if this mentioned, the fourth batch is rumored for a July release. Well, they've been scattered out a few months. So now that we've got the third batch, I bet you we'll hear an announcement very soon about that. You're right. Hopefully. Yeah. Same. Life at the Lions is the only solo album I've never heard, says Mike Waljasper. Better looking cover than material on it anyway. Do you think the Beatles can re-release the Beatles albums in SHM? I think they're already available. I think. Well, you're saying re-release. I don't know, Brad. I think the Beatles have their 5-year plan for what they want to do. I don't think SHMs are in the offering. Not that I know anything, but it's just a guess. There's the Hand on the Run. Had to give you a shout out there. Talk to somebody mentioned. Matt mentioned the lyrics. So, and that kind of reminded me of our conversation about You Can't Do That. Hope you're doing well. James says, I've been listening to the Cynthia Lennon book on John. Kind of explains where John was at in the late 50s and 60s. He could be cruel. I'm sure. I am sure. Scott used to enjoy the instrumental version of With and Without You more than the Pepper version, but now I enjoy the Pepper version equally. Well, they're both good if you're into that mode of listening to it. As I say, I'm not going to seek it out, but the instrument, I think that was kind of when they put that on Anthology 2, just the instrumental track, I was like, oh man, that's filler. We're just going to get the instrumental track With and Without You. Even as 15, I was like, come on, man, that's a little bit of a filler. Getting Better is a song about personal growth, ultimately. Absolutely, Matt. Oh, I've got it on in the background. I've got that. I hear the version of When I'm 64 now from the box set. I love the slowed down version of it. That was a revelation hearing that, going, wow, they really sped this song up to make Paul sound younger. Just like they did with She's Leaving Home. But I don't think that works as good as we talked about in the Liverpool fan this past week. She's Leaving Home on the stereo is way better than She's Leaving Home in the mono because it's slower. It's more mournful. It's more sad. On the mono version, it's too sped up and it's too happy. It's too happy. I love the stereo version of She's Leaving Home. Like top 10 Beatles songs. We are. We absolutely are. We're going to have Luca on both shows that I'm on. Luca will be on for Press to Play on Two Legs in June. And we'll also have Luca on for his new book on Ringo, which is called I Play the Piano If It's in C, on Hands Across the Water. That'll both be this month. So, yes, to answer your question. Christian says, someone on the Hoffman forum said they'll consist of, you're talking about the fourth batch now, Paul's Live, Flaming Pie, Chaos, Amoeba, and New. Okay. Why do we don't need Paul's Live again, though, man? On SHM? How about Tripping the Live Fantastic? Let's get that album re-released. We've already got Paul's Live has been reissued on vinyl and on CD. He's got to give some love to the Tripping album. Come on, man. I hope that's wrong. Here we go, Joe. Thank you. You Can't Do That is totally innocent. Run for Your Life is just a song. John never killed anyone. And that line came from an Elvis song. True did. Baby, Let's Play House. Of John's three experimental, Life of the Lines is the best, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's because of Yoko's side of the LP. Okay. Oh, I remember what you're talking about, Serge. That was the Press to Play 35th anniversary book that came out from Super Deluxe Edition, which Tom and I did a quick video on. That was with Paul Sinclair of SDE, which we did. We did a quick recap of that book, which was a nice reel. I'm sure Luca referenced it, but Luca's interviewed Hugh Padgham and a lot of people for this book. So looking forward to that. The MVP. Got to move my son's stuff into his off-campus house for the fall. I'll finish listening and watching later. Peace and love, fam. See you, MVP. Have a good day. Susan, one of the Hoffman insiders, has been dropping hints about an impending Ringo Live release. He hadn't one. Another. Okay, you would get it. All right, I'm gonna put the pause button on Ringo right now. I'm really happy with Look Up. I'm not getting Ringo Rama on vinyl. I'm not getting any of that. I'm kind of good right now for Ringo stuff. I love Look Up, and I'm happy with it. Lee, how could today's technology improve the anthology series? It's my only gripe with well, if they're going to do what Giles has been doing, which is basically more bass and drums up when you listen to everything. You put Pepper on and you hear that opening bass and drums. It's up. You listen to the Red and Blue stuff from 2023. I think, if anything, the anthology tracks could get that. I don't think you're going to get that with the spoken word stuff, but I would really love to see the technology improve the early Anthology 1 tracks, all that 1960 material, the stuff recorded in Liverpool, the instrumental stuff, in spite of all the danger, that'll be the day. I would love to hear that stuff cleaned up, especially with the early stuff. As it should. It's one of the best of all time. The song that George Martin was royally ticked that he didn't get a chance to produce because he wasn't available. And he had to go get Mike Leander to orchestrate that session. Rick says his first album was the Hard Day's Night soundtrack, but Pepper turned the lights on, as it did for many people. I'd love to turn you on. Yes, James. Yeah, that really needs a remix. It really does. I don't know, Rick. It's coming. I have to reach out to Luca and find out. I know he's been working on it, but I mean, he's got a Ringo book. He's got the Paul book. Luca is very busy. And he's also starting his own podcast channel as well, too, of which I'm going to be one of the first guests on. We're going to talk about Once Upon a Long Ago. Susan agrees with Christian as well. His own opinion, Christian's, is that the SHMCs are pointless. We need reissues of the stuff that hasn't been. Fair enough. I like it because it's a little bit of a difference. It's a boost in sound quality, and it's a nice, faithful reproduction of the LP design. And you get the Obi strips. As guys, McCartney collectors, that's what we go for. Louder. A-B it, Tony, and you'll hear. James Martinez says Tripping needs to be remixed. Some songs sound great, but others need. Yes, they do. If they reissue Tripping, they should add the live song. Yeah, a full comprehensive thing. Let's get All My Trials on there too. And Mull of Kintyre and Sea Moon. You have the Press to Play book with Hugh's signature. Very cool. That would be good too. Oh, it's absolute crap. And the speed is all off on that thing too. Susan says, I agree those albums will be the final batch of the SHMs. They're the ones that were left in the archive or colored editions. You're right. The Beatles could be cruel George Martin, but the fact that they hired Jeff Lynne for Free as a Bird. No, Owen, that's wrong. George Martin wanted nothing to do with those tracks. He didn't want to produce Free as a Bird and Real Love. That's why they brought Jeff Lynne in. That's not accurate. George Martin removed himself from those tracks. He oversaw the whole anthology, assembling the tracks and putting the track listing together. But those two tracks, George Martin took himself out of it. Tom says, I have to say that She's Leaving Home from the 2002 Back in the US/World Tour with Tom, I agree with you. And it's a pity that when you watch that live concert film, it's cut. You have to get Back in the World from 2003 to have the full live performance of She's Leaving Home by Paul's new then band performing it. And I would agree with you. It's right up there. They go to 11, to quote Spinal Tap. If he was so deaf, how could he work on Flaming Pie 2 years later? Because it was in a limited capacity. And I don't think George wanted to have he didn't want to be judged for his production work on Free as a Bird and Real Love, especially that Jeff Lynne at the time was the guy with the technology to work those songs into it. That kind of technology was probably beyond George Martin's skill set, and Jeff was able to do it. So he was still working in the late 90s, but he had slowed down a little bit. But I remember distinctively reading that, even on forums, that George Martin was not going to be a part of those two songs. Jeff says his first Beatles LP was a counterfeit copy of Introducing the Beatles. God knows how many of those there were out there. That he bought at Musicland around the early 80s. Didn't know about the counterfeit LPs then, but it was only $3. With that, there's always ways to tell which one is real. You have to have the words Introducing in the Beatles. If it's separated by the hole, then you know it's a fake. All sorts of things. You got to look for Paul's watch. I have a few copies. They're all bogus, too. As well, yes, the Lennon tribute played at the Albert Dock in Liverpool. Put that on there, too. Good one. Good one, Mr. Martinez. Yeah, I think there's some issue with that there. I thought George wanted Jeff on Free as a Bird, a stipulation for George. Yes, that was he wanted it, but it was a compromise, and George Martin didn't want to really be part of it either. So, agreed. Yes, that was part of the deal. If George was going to do this, he wanted Jeff Lynne to do it, and the other Beatles had to kind of go along with it. And I think George Martin was happy to just say, okay, I don't want to touch these tracks. Paul has done 8 songs from Pepper Live. Yeah, he has. Susan's looking forward to Luca being on our show again. Yeah, Luca. That man is, I don't know who's busier, him or Adrian Sinclair and Alan Cozen, working on Volume 3. Both welcome books in the McCartney Library, of course. Paul's Live gets a reissue. We're done with Paul's Live. Colored vinyl. It was reproduced on CD. We don't need to do. Paul's Live is done. We don't have to touch that anymore. Yes, and he was on Ken Michaels' show, talking about Ringo. He's a bigger fan of Old Way than I. I would like to, at this point, wish a happy birthday to one of the original co-founders and co-hosts of Two Legs, David Gargolino, who is celebrating a birthday today, known as Duke Viking. There he is. Happy birthday, brother. Yes. And I want to thank David for his most recent dump of treasure trove of stuff that he's mailed to me. I don't even know what this is, a McCartney Live on Air Broadcast Radio Archives, which looks like a quasi not really legal thing, but I'll check it out. He's always sending me stuff, this Duke Viking. David Gilmour on an Island. Okay. Have to check that out. Don't know what it is. A stack of DVDs, one of which I had already. Red Square. Got it. Love Is All You Need. This is one of those unofficial Lennon documentaries. Joe, tell me if you've seen it. Tell me about it. Is it worth it? Another unofficial one. Fun with the Fab Four. Not sure. This one I've seen. Beatles Stories. I've seen this one too. David's just purging stuff and he sends it to me and Tom says, here you go. Oh yeah, that's David. And wait, folks, there's more. What the hell are these you sent me? You sent me like mini CD covers for whatever reason. Thank you. Maybe I'll slip them over some discs. And then a bunch of books. This one I'm actually thankful for because I haven't read it yet and I don't own it, which is the Jason Krupa and Womack book on All Things Must Pass with Harrison and Clapton. Thank you for that one. Then, for whatever reason, I got a couple of books on the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which I love. The Gordon Lightfoot song, which was a true story. Why you included these two, I don't know, but thank you. And he threw in a copy of Luca's first book, which I have. So maybe if nobody has this, maybe I will kind of auction this off. Maybe if nobody has a copy of Luca's first book, let me know because I have a copy already. And if you don't, maybe today that'll be the prize on trivia when we get to it. If you don't have one, let me know and I'll mail you a copy of this because I don't need it. But wait, there's more. We got more. We got a copy of Mojo on John from the winter of 2000 for £5. That's a bargain these days. This probably goes for 15 pounds now at least. And then looks like the Now and Then Mojo stuff. This will be cool to look at. So, and then he gave me a bunch of Moody Blues rips, which we were talking a couple of years about. So, Mr. Gorgolino, a happy birthday to you. Thank you very much. These are going to be very handy. I'll find a use. Yeah, I think James is saying they're very handy. I will find a use for these. Something. It's like the same material that these come in. Thank you. Yes. All right. I thought sometimes the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald song sounds like it don't come easy. I had never heard that. I got to see Gordon Lightfoot a couple of years ago with Mom and Dad. Really, and he passed away about a month later. Great show. Played for about an hour and 10 minutes, and his voice was really thin though. But yeah, we're big Gordon Lightfoot fans here in the Nichols fam. All right, Scotty, DM me and I'll send it to you if you don't have one. You don't have to win it. We'll do our trivia in a little bit, maybe in 5 minutes or so. We'll do our trivia and start that. And whoever wins trivia today. Unfortunately, Beat Little Tone's not available today, so I'll be keeping score here in 2 legs east of who wins, and we'll be using the Trivial Pursuit questions like we did last week. So once we get through the rest of the agenda, we will get through that. Joe needs CD sleeves for those lousy longboard CDs, long-lived jewel cases. You mean the long boxes? I love the long. I need some of those too. Yes, I just hold them up. Thank you. So. You've got, let's see, In Search of the Lost Chord, 50th anniversary, Days of Future Past, 50th, which I already had, and To Our Children's Children. And then looks like Rubber Soul Session CD1. So thank you, David. Thank you. No news yet there on a full tour, Mr. James, our Bowery friend. Nothing yet. Stay tuned. Do you prefer Tripping or Back in the U.S. as a live album? I think I prefer Tripping the Live Fantastic over Back in the U.S. Even though Back in the U.S. was the first time I saw Paul, when my whole family went to go see him at Madison Square Garden in April of 2002. Tripping is, I think, a little bit more of a rewarding listening experience because those are the first time those Beatles songs got played live. So I think I go back more to Tripping than Back in the U.S. Oh, okay. Cardboard. Yes. Oh, like all those Elton John ones and everything else that comes out. Yeah, no more jewel boxes there, Joe. Nobody makes them that way. Digipack. Thank you. David's birthday, blah, 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 blah. Showed that. Okay. All right. Yeah. If you want to keep score, that would be great. Yeah. I mean, we'll do that in about 10 minutes. Sure. That would be awesome. Thank you. And Serge is right. You got Calico Skies on Back in the World too. Calico Skies, She's Leaving Home. It was 3 tracks unique to that were different than Back in the World. I can't think of the other one offhand. But those were the 2 big ones different. Another one? Serge, let me know. What's the third one that's the difference between both of them? Yeah, that's true. Some still. Yes. Tripping is better release, but being totally. Totally. So our next show on Hands Across the Water is a looking at Let It Roll. As you know, Let It Roll, the George Harrison kind of compilation, is getting a vinyl reissue in July on double LP, which is just a straight digital transfer onto vinyl. There's nothing new about it. Kind of a lame release. So on the next episode of Hands Across the Water, me and Tony and Kyle kind of rejigged Let It Roll, and we kind of made our own Let It Roll, what we think they all should be. Kyle had his, Tony had mine, and Thomas said Tony had his, and I had mine. 20 tracks to encompass what we all thought Let It Roll should be. Thank you. That's the third track. Let 'Em In is the one that's different. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's the next episode of Hands Across the Water. Kyle, if you need the link, let me know, and I'll send it to you, okay? As I start trivia, and I'll start doing score. That's the difference. Thank you. So, yeah, that'll be dropping on Tuesday of this week. So look for that as well. Heading out. Yes. See you next time, Jeff. Thank you. We're going to start trivia soon. I've been on for 51 minutes already. Let me take a sip. The trivia is a new wrinkle, Scotty O'Rourke, of the Sunday live show. I'm using the Trivial Pursuit Beatles edition for questions, and asking only the difficult ones in each category. Now, poor Lynn, she tried so hard last week, and she couldn't get she got a half a point. We're going to try to get her in the positive column this week. Okay. Thank you. I will send it to you anyway. Give me a minute. And I will just message it to you right now. Okay. All right. You should have that now, buddy. Yes. The winner of trivia, if you're not already in, gets a freebie invite link to our Two Legs podcast Discord community, where we kind of continue our Maca Beatle chats off the air. So if you win and you're already in there, you don't win anything this week. But if you do win, you will get a complimentary link to join our Discord. Yes, we're going to be very nice. We're going to, hopefully Lynn can get in there. So 52 minutes into the live show, let's start trivia, shall we? Let's present and let's spin the wheel. Let's get our virtual Vanna White here. Okay. As you see, there's the categories: movies, solo, history, albums and singles, and America. The Beatles in America. I just relabeled it that for convenience sake. All right. So Kyle's going to keep score for now, and let us begin. Okay. You have to be the first one. We're going to count everybody's right answers. If you search it up, you search it up. There's no way to tell. But the questions, as you recall, last week were pretty damn tough. So let us begin. Okay, first one. Oh, movies. We always come back to the damn movies. Okay, movies. Movies. The movies are the toughest category, I think. Okay. Okay. Only the difficult level questions here. Okay, this is regarding Help. Thank you, Susan. In Help, the laser cutting the floor towards the Beatles is a parody of a laser scene from what classic 60s film? Go. Toughies. Yeah, the movies ones I would steer clear of for sure. In Help, the laser cutting the floor towards Ringo is a parody of a laser scene from what movie? Bingo. We got right answers there from James Martinez, Dad, and Matt Bazell. All say Goldfinger. And Boyce, Mr. Boyce. Correct. Kyle, I'm trusting that you keep track of these. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 right answers from Martinez, Matt Bazell, Dad, and James Boyce. Goldfinger, Shirley Bassey. Great tune, that. Lynn, do we have to re-enroll you in Beatles 101? Come on, girl. Thank you. So we got 4 right answers for that one. Rick Durkin also got Goldfinger. Let's count him in before we go to the next question. Wouldn't have got that. I'm not a big Bond guy. Sorry, Joe. Don't shoot me. I'm only the piano player. I'm only the podcaster. Sorry. Okay. So that's all 5 right for that. Let's move ahead. Next. Okay, we got solo. All right. Our favorite category. Our favorite category is solo. Okay. Ooh. Okay. That's a tough one. I'm gonna skip that one. Oh, that's it. See, now that's an easy one. These damn questions. Okay. Here we go. This is a fairly easy one for a level 5 difficulty question. What song on the Ringo album features George and members of the group known as the band? That's a cookie. That's a cookie. What song on the Ringo album features George and members of the group the band? Let's see. Wrong. Not correct. Nope. There you go, Susan. Susan got it, Kyle. Sail Away Raymond, Sunshine Life for Me. Scott O'Rourke got it. No, Uncle Paul. Peace and love. It's Sail Away Raymond. Tom Liverani gets a point. I feel like Oprah here. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. Now, all I've got is a Discord link for the winner. Sorry, folks. Oh, I said that damn word. I never saying that word again. And you know why. Sunshine, yes. A point for Rick. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So, Kyle, that should be 8 people each gave 1 point. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 people with the right answer. All right. If we're done, let's go next. All right. We got, now Rick has 2. Thank you for keeping score. Solo again for the win. Okay. This is a tough one. What guitarist did George bring in for the concert for Bangladesh in the event that Eric Clapton was unable to make it? What guitarist did George bring in for the concert for Bangladesh in case Eric Clapton was a no-show or unable to perform? This is a good one. And it's a name you know if you know your solo Beatles because he's on a lot of early material. Nope. Lee's got it. And I think I know what he means by those initials. Yes, Jesse Ed Davis is the correct answer. Tom Liverani got it. Lee got it. Dad, who do you mean by Boot Man? I'm not sure what you mean. Good guesses here. Peter Frampton from Ted and Susan. But I don't know. Who do you mean by Boot Man? I'm not sure. Jesse Ed Davis, who worked a lot with George and primarily John on, Klaus. No, good guess, though. Good guess. No, Jesse Ed Davis, who worked a lot with John on Mind Games and Walls and Bridges, and George, too. But the correct answer is Jesse Ed Davis. So that is a point for Tom Liverani and Lee Santa and Rick as well. Let's not forget Rick. Jesse Ed Davis, the very tall. Yeah. Jesse Ed. That was a tough one. So that should be 3 points there for the correct answer. 1, 2, and 3. Rick, Tom Liverani, and Lee. All right. Moving right along. What do we got next? Solo again. All right. Solo again. Oh, God, I can't answer that one. That's too easy. Okay. What was the initial title for Ringo's first solo LP? What was the initial title for Ringo's first solo LP? Which you know is Sentimental Journey, but that was not initially what it was going to be called. What was it going to be known as? I feel like I should have Tom Liverani on here. I learned a lot. This is how I won this game from him. Thank you. There we go. We have the right answer there. Susan Gagne and Owen Ling get the right answer, and that is Stardust. According to the card, the answer is Ringo Stardust, but we're going to give you the point for that one. They have down Ringo Stardust in italics. So, but you're all saying Stardust, so we're going to give you a point for that. So Scotty O'Rourke, Owen Ling, Susan Gagne all get a point each as well. Let's see if anybody else chimes in with the right answer before we move ahead. Okay. Looks like that's it. Hello, our son down under, Boyan Archer. Better late than never. It's never too late to celebrate, Boyan. And congrats to our friend and adopted son who scored a copy of the Beatles in mono, shipped all the way to Australia. God, he was so worried, this poor kid, but he got a copy. Glad you're here, buddy. Doing some trivia here on a Sunday, or for you it's Monday. Next, let's spin the wheel of the Ring of Fire here as Johnny sings. Solo again. Very good. Okay. Toughies. Okay. What song recorded during John's Walls and Bridges sessions is the B-side to Stand By Me? What song recorded during Walls and Bridges sessions is the B-side to Stand By Me? Lee, correct. Lee is correct. I think Lee is probably in the lead right now, Kyle, if I had to think, right? Lee's got it. Rick has got it. Uncle Paul has got it. Scotty O'Rourke has got it. No, good one, but close, but no cigar, Brad Hill. Let's add the hand on the run from the backstage into the Sunday Live show here with the fam on two legs.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, brother.
Audio's okay?
Sound great. How are you?
All right, sweet. I'm living the dream, man. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. I'm taking this very seriously. I'm sweating on all parts of my body because I want to do this right.
Got to keep. So what's our vote? What's our tally right now? Moops.
Okay.
What do we got?
Hey, James. Hey, Susan. All right. So Scott and Rick D are in the lead with 4 points each.
Ooh.
Rick has this killer strategy where he answers last every time, so he always gets it right. So
yeah, but I think he's an honest bloke. He's not cheating.
I'm just messing around.
He's not cheating.
Okay.
But thanks for coming on and keeping score, buddy, on a Sunday. Appreciate it.
Yes. So Susan's right behind with 3. Tom and Lee have 2. Everybody else that answered has 1 point.
Okie dokie. Moving on. What do we got next? We got history. Okay. History for, let's see. Okay. Again, this is not a level 5 question. That's weird. At John's suggestion, what did the Beatles clothing store do on its last day of operation? This is not a level 5 question of difficulty, in my opinion.
Lynn privately messaged the answer to this one to me, and she's right. She just doesn't want everybody else to know it. So,
do you know the answer to this question?
Didn't they? Well, I think I do, but should I not say it?
No. Well, yes. We've got right answers. We've got right answers. Here we go.
Yeah.
And Rick is the first one with the.
And
right
now
answer.
Rick's first.
Oh, okay. Oh, they all. This is a cookie one. This is a cookie one.
Boy. Okay.
All right, so here we go. Ready now? Start charting that.
Yeah.
Rick's got it. James Martinez gets a point. Mike Waljasper gets a point. Susan Gagne gets a point. Uncle Paul gets a point. My dad gets a point. James Boyce gets a point. Richard James gets a point. Lee gets a point. Scotty O'Rourke gets a point. And Brad Hill gets a point. See, that's not not a level 4. Lynn, that's an easy one, girl.
She messaged it to me. She got it right.
And she gets a point. She gets a full-fledged point today.
Yeah, she said she didn't do the other ones because they were too easy, which I understand. So.
I almost want to give I want to give Mr. Martinez almost an extra credit here because this is also correct after the Beatles picked out what they wanted.
Back.
Go ahead, buddy. After the Beatles picked out what they wanted. He should almost get a half a point for that because that's also correct. That is also correct. All right. Oh, we got a cameo from Rocky Raccoon.
He kept trying to go in the sink. So
that's not good.
No, it's okay. Different podcast. Moving on.
Okay. Next up. Oh, movies again. There's that tough category of movies. Oh. All right, let's see here. Okay. In A Hard Day's Night, what does George say when asked what his hairstyle is called?
Oh. I remember the joke. I don't remember the exact word.
You just watched this last week.
Yeah. Well, James got it.
Yes, he did. All right. James, Richard, Susan, Uncle Paul,
Susan,
Mike,
Richard, okay, Uncle Paul, Mike,
Tom Liverani, Lee. All correct answers.
Mm-hmm. This is competitive.
It is.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
Brad Hill, Scott O'Rourke. Ooh, see, this is only the second week of trivia here on the Sunday show, and it's picked up. All right.
So if I'm doing this right, which of course I am, Scott just passed Rick with 6 points, and now Rick has 5.
Okay.
Because I don't think Rick answered this one.
Rick has not. Maybe Rick took a break.
Yeah. Let everybody else catch up.
Mm-hmm. Give everybody a minute, another couple of seconds before we move on. That's an easy one, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's spin the wheel, shall we? And if I miss a comment, you let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Movies again.
Oh my gosh.
I know this is bad.
It's a magnet.
I'm telling you, man, you're getting on a hot streak here. Okay. James says my Beatles knowledge is a bit like Rusty Anderson. Okay. Here's a good one. Okay. What 3 songs appear in the film Let It Be that would later find their way onto Abbey Road?
Oh, okay. I can think of one. I could think of 2.
What 3 songs are shown in the film Let It Be, but later find their way on the October 1969 release of Abbey Road, or September if you were in the UK, because it came out in September? No. Incorrect. That's one.
Oh, I think Owen's got it.
Owen's got it. And this is where you've got to answer all 3 in one answer. You can't cherry pick your answers one at a time. You've got to put if it's a multi-answer question, you've got to have all the answers in one comment.
Mm-hmm.
So Owen gets a point. James Boyce is wrong. It was not bathroom. Let's see. Susan gets it. No, Tom. Although those songs were played though too. Yeah, this might be a multiple answer one, but we got to go what's on the card. No, Dad. You only had the one. According to this, it's Maxwell Silverhammer, Oh Darling, and Octopus's Garden. Scotty O'Rourke gets it. Wait. Scott O'Rourke, Susan.
Oh wait, so I'm sorry. So Owen doesn't get it then. You said Oh Darling.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Owen does not get it. I'm wrong. Yeah.
Wait. So what are the song? What does the card say?
Maxwell Silverhammer, Oh Darling, and Octopus's Garden. Sorry, Owen.
Oh, so something wasn't played.
No. Interesting. No, Scott. Sorry, you're wrong. I read that wrong. My bad.
So Susan's the only one that gets it.
Susan is the only one that's got this right. Sorry.
Okay. Well,
you know what? Because a lot
Susan
of those songs
tied
won
for first.
Yeah, Susan makes a galloping jump back to tie Rick, right?
Scott. Tied with Scott with 6 points. Rick is behind with 5.
Okay, so yeah, Maxwell Silverhammer, Oh Darling, and Octopus's Garden. So sorry about that. Next. Movies again.
Let's do it. Why not?
All right. I read that one last week. Should have put it to the side. Okay. Here we go. During the rooftop concert in Let It Be, John reads lyrics off of a clipboard for what song?
I think I know it.
Yeah, I think you're right there, James. I don't know if this is the U.S. edition though. During the rooftop concert in Let It Be, John reads lyrics off of a clipboard for what song? We have a right answer there with
Oh
Joe.
my gosh.
Oh boy,
These all came back at
all
once.
in one shot. James Boyce gets it right. Martinez
Okay.
gets it right. Susan gets it right. Rick, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Uncle Paul, you're right. Well, Uncle Paul's making a good showing here today too.
I got 3 from Paul, but tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Tell me if you think you got some.
Lee gets it. Tom Liverani gets it. Oof. Let's see. Let's give everybody another couple of seconds to chime in. He's trying. He's trying.
Let me just put my Venmo in the chat in case anybody wants extra points.
Scott O'Rourke got it.
$50 a point.
Owen gets it.
Owen. Here we go.
All right. I think that's going to wind up that question.
So Susan and Scott seem to be tied still.
Okay. James Boyce says the rooftop is his birthday, so he should get that right, as you should.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No excuse.
Okay. America for the first time on a Sunday. Here we go. This is another tough one, too. Sometimes. Okay. America.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Okay. These are because you got it. Like these are some tough ones, man. Ooh. Okay. Here we go. Well, that's too easy. Okay. Okay. What R&B saxophonist and his band performed songs and backed a female vocalist on the Beatles' second U.S. tour? Now, I'll give you a hint. This person ended up working on a John Lennon solo record. What R&B saxophonist and his band performed songs and backed a female vocalist on the Beatles' second U.S. tour?
I'm raising the white flag with this one, Andy. I have no clue.
No. Good guess. Good guess, Dad. Good guess, James Martinez.
Tom Scott's the only solo saxophonist, I think.
No. Susan and Owen and James Martinez got it right. Oh, no. James, you said Tom Scott first, so that's wrong. Sorry.
Okay,
Can't give you a point that one, buddy.
Susan
gets
Owen.
it. Susan gets it. Owen gets it. Scott
And
O'Rourke
Scott.
gets it. And Brad Hill gets it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a tough one. See, these American ones are tough sometimes. But I think the hint that he played on a Lennon solo record should have helped.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Lynn. Okay. That was a tough one. Moving ahead. Let's
Wait, what solo record did he play on?
Imagine.
Okay.
He's on It So Hard.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, he plays sax on It So Hard.
Mm-hmm.
Albums and singles. Okay. Albums and singles. Oh, and you didn't know that, Lee, huh? Wow. Okay. This I think is an easy one. On the Beatles' 1968 Christmas album, what Beatles song is sung by Tiny Tim?
I didn't know they made Christmas albums. I thought that was more of an early Beatles thing.
No, they did it all. They did 7 of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 63 to 69. Mike Waljasper, right on you. Yes, sir.
Susan.
Yep, Susan gets it. Rick gets it. Rick comes back into the fold. So does Tom Liverani. Yeah, they get progressively depressing as the years wear on, especially 68 and 69, but Paul's got a nice little kind of jingle in there about Merry Christmas in 1968, which again, that just goes to show you how gifted he is for melody.
Yeah.
He does this little Happy Christmas little jingle thing on his guitar.
Yeah.
But they get progressively weird as the years go on. Like 63 and 64 and 65 are like traditional, like, hey, happy Christmas. And then like in 66, it starts to get really trippy.
Hmm.
They do this pantomime kind of acting play thing called Everywhere It's Christmas. You never heard them?
I've never sought them out, to be honest, because I just thought they were like filler marketing kind of stuff.
No. They're very interesting to listen to, and they even got a re-release on vinyl on singles a couple of years ago.
Maybe a Hands Across the Water show in December.
Possibly. Owen got this right as well too, as well as Tom Liverani. Scott O'Rourke got it too. Okay. All right, Uncle Paul. Peace and love. Thanks for being here. There were two balloons, and they were once known as Jock and Yono. That's right, Rick. Yeah, they are. Yeah. So, okay, what's our current tally there?
Susan and Scott are still tied with 9 each, and then since Rick took a break, so he's a few behind now. He has 6.
Okay,
and then Tom and Lee have 5. Yeah.
All right. So just so you know, for those playing and keeping score at home, we are going to wrap up trivia at 1:30 in about 15 minutes more time, and then we're going to call it a wrap for the Sunday live show today. So you've got 15 more minutes to throw your hat into the ring and try to win a complimentary Discord link to join our server. Okay.
So, and you'll also, by the way, if you're not already subscribed to Hands Across the Water, and you subscribe now, you get an extra point.
Oh, there's some incentive for you. Maybe 2 points. Okay.
Yeah, as many points. You name your price.
Yeah. Oh, we're up to almost 470 now on that. We've done pretty well. Solo. Okay. Asked that last week. Boyan thinks it's a great prize.
Thank you.
Okay. I think I might have asked that last week too. Damn it. Hold on. Okay. I know. Okay.
Just filling space.
I thank you. Okay. Now this is a 5-point question. This is like a tough question, but I think it's an easy one. Okay. Who sang with Paul and Linda on the chorus of Mary Had a Little Lamb? I need specifics. This is a specific answer. Who's one of my all-time favorite Paul McCartney songs? You know that. You're
not being facetious?
Oh no, it is. Absolutely.
What's the story? I didn't know this.
Nope. Mary Had a Little Lamb. I love it.
Oh, okay.
No. Oh, it's a 2-part answer. I'm looking for 2 answers here. Kind of like last week's, like Mr. and Mrs. James Paul McCartney, which threw a lot of people off. 2 names. 2 names. Nope. You're all in the right area, but you're not, nope. Stella was too young. Stella was only a year old. Not even. Boyan Archer for the win down under. Heather and Mary.
Everybody just forgot Linda's kid's name.
That's right. Heather and Mary Boyo, well done. 1 point for the Sun Down Under. That was a tricky one. Oh, Lynn gets it.
Yeah, Lynn.
You get a point officially. Well done. Well done. Heather and Mary. All right. Moving ahead. That was more difficult than I thought it would be. Oh, America. America and movies. Those categories would have me running for the hills. Okay. 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 What venue did the Beatles play on their first U.S. tour that had a reflection pool fronting the stage? What venue did the Beatles play on their first U.S. tour that had a reflection pool fronting the stage? James Martinez. Ding, ding, ding. Yes. And Richard James, our buddy Rich. The Hollywood Bowl.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hollywood Bowl is the correct answer. No.
Mike Waljasper.
Mike gets it as well, too.
Yeah.
See, now that was a level 2 question on the card. See, some of these like level 5 questions for America are tough. Like, look, for instance, here's one. What did adults have to do to gain entry to the charity party attended by the Beatles in Brentwood? I'm not asking that question. That's ridiculous.
So,
okay.
Scotch has surpassed Susan with this question.
Okay. We've got 10 more minutes of playtime here. Mm-hmm. Hollywood Bowl, Lee gets it as well, too.
Gotcha.
Okay. Anybody else? Good guess there, Susan. Okay. Let's spin her again. Solo. All right. All right, Owen. Okay. Okay. Have a good day, brother. Okay.
Susan, just need a little pep talk here. Put you in the boxing corner. I bet a lot of money on you winning this. So please let's concentrate, focus up these next 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay. Which two Beatles recorded songs with piano and vocals by Elton John? And what are the songs? Which two Beatles recorded songs with piano and vocals by Elton, and what songs are they?
One of them's easy. Is the other one more of a deeper cut? Or
a little bit, but pretty well known if you know your solo Beatles. Let's see here. And I need the songs, too. I need the songs, and I need the two Beatles. So I need the two Beatles, and I need the two songs.
Rick
wrong, and wrong. These are all wrong so far.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh.
Which two Beatles recorded songs with piano and vocals by Elton John, and what are the songs? No. Why are we talking about Bowie and Fame? That has nothing to do with the question.
I really want to talk through these, but I don't want to give anything away and ruin it.
Okay. But so I need the two Beatles and I need the two songs. All in one comment. All in one comment for the correct answer. Okay. Richard James, point.
No, Rick got it. Rick Durkin got it.
Oh, I didn't see that come in. Okay, yes. So
yeah,
yes.
That's what
Okay, Rick gets it's John with Whatever Gets You Through the Night and Ringo with Snookeroo. Those are the correct answers. Yes.
Right.
Very right. Rick and Richard James. Scotty, you needed to have the songs in there too, bud. So sorry. Okay. All right. Susan, that would have been it. Oh, Susan got that too. So now Susan probably ties Scott now. Too late, Scotty. Your first answer had Ringo and John. You needed the songs in there too. Susan gets it as well. So now they're probably tied now, I think, again.
10-10.
Ooh. See, and Susan's already in the Discord, so Scotty's got incentive to get in here. Mm-hmm. All right. It's fierce with 6 minutes to play. Solo again. Okay.
I feel like history has been the unloved category here.
It has. We have not got much of those. Okay. Okay. This was actually talked about in the chat earlier today. John and Yoko's first concert appearance appears on what album? Ooh. John and Yoko's first concert appearance appears on what album?
Oh,
No,
no, it's I know what you're talking about now.
no.
I was just watching this.
That would have been my guess too. No,
Mm-hmm.
nope,
Come
not correct.
on. No,
No,
you guys got it. Come on, you can get it.
no, nope,
No.
no.
Oh my gosh.
Susan gets it.
Huh.
Susan jumps ahead of Scott O'Rourke. Oh, the correct
Wait,
answer.
so I'm gonna say what I thought it was. I thought it was the Rock and Roll Circus.
No. Well, now chronologically, you're correct because that happened in 1968. However, it was not released until 1996. So historically, that's a concert appearance, but that did not come out until the Stones did not release that until 1996. The first concert, right? The first concert appearance is Unfinished Music #2, Life with the Lions, and that is the correct answer. I would probably would have said Live Piece in Toronto too. I would have.
Susan can't be stopped.
Susan now jumps. Susan, Scotty's got his work cut out for him with 5 minutes to play.
Is Susan the Michael Jordan of Beatles trivia?
She certainly is.
Yeah.
Undefeated. Good one. All right, let's see.
Good sportsmanship here.
Is she up by 2 now on him?
Just one.
All right. Albums and singles. Here we go. Okay. All right, now. Let's see.
All right, now.
Okay. Name the different flip sides of the UK and capital singles of A Hard Day's Night. Name the B-sides of the UK and capital singles of A Hard Day's Night. I'm looking for 2 songs.
And if you look this up on Wikipedia, it may or may not be correct. Just
as
a,
you well know.
As a word of caution. Oh, that was terrible.
Oh, that was fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Go looking back at your 45s. If you've got them nearby, you can find out that way. What are the B-sides to the UK Capitals?
Do you have some love for the American Hard Day's Night?
I do. With
the George Martin's instrumentals and whatnot.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's mixes unique on that are different than the other ones. There's some different mixes on them. Susan wins again. She jumps out.
Susan wins again.
Things We Said Today is the B-side in the UK, and I Should Have Known Better is the B-side in America. Nope. Good guess there, James Martinez. Let's give everybody another few seconds to chime in.
To copy and paste Susan's answer?
I know.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
I do my first album soundtrack. Oh, cool.
Okay. Scott, let's give Scott the point.
Mm-hmm.
So, where are we at with 3 minutes to play?
Susan's got 12. Scott has 11.
Okay. Let's roll. Let's let it roll, as we just talked about yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, America. Okay.
Bye, Mr. Nichols. Have a good Sunday.
Oh, Dad's out?
Yeah.
Dad, have a nice Sunday. Hope you have a nice Bloody Mary soon. Okay. Okay. What popular film, released in 1964, did the Beatles watch in the privacy of their Atlantic City hotel on their 1964 tour?
I was just, I guess, while answers are coming in, I was reading Legacy, and I just was so tickled by McCartney bringing like a whole film projector set just to like throw on a movie in between and shows and everything.
just to show the latest movie or whatever, right?
Yeah, like it was so much harder to watch movies only like 50 years ago.
Oh my God, you had to get the reels and set it up.
Yeah.
No, Lee, these questions are tough. These are tough, man. These are tough. No, Susan. No. Good guesses.
Scott also got it wrong. Good guess, Brad Hill, but that movie, yeah, very good guess. Very good guess. This is kind of a tricksy question, to quote Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Trixies. This is a tricksy question. Why is it a trick question? Because the movie they watched in the privacy of their hotel room
was A Hard Day's Night, their own film.
That's hilarious.
Yes. Yes. I
yeah,
thought. Go ahead.
I was just learning how for a while the director Dick Lester didn't want to show them the film because they were. Oh no, sorry. Dick Lester didn't want to show them the dailies because they didn't want to kind of ruin the innocence of them just like behaving as themselves on camera.
Right.
So yeah, but they were like, no, we got to see this.
Lynn, you should have. Why? Then you should have said it. You got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose. All right, it's 1:30. We've got time for one more question. Okay?
Lynn, if you get this next one right, you're going to get 50 points.
Yes. Back to movies to close it out. All right. Here we go. This is it now for all the marbles. Okay. Okay. Give me a second to look at the question here. So, okay.
Trivia's tough, everybody. Yeah. It's all about the music, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, when they ask these random movie trivia questions, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, if you got a minute after, let's maybe do a encore with history. I'm curious I don't think that one was clicked once.
History? We can we can do a bonus one if you want. Okay.
Yeah, I mean we got all these like a fair assortment, but the history seemed underloved.
Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, he's saying James Martinez is saying it should be a multiplier question. Give me a minute to find a multiplier question, okay? To do that.
Do you want me to vamp?
Vamp, please. And do we want to do movies or not?
I vote history. I mean, we've just done so many movies.
All right, we're going to pull an audible here. We're going to pull an audible here, and we're going to make history the last category question. Yeah. Let me just find a multi-answer question.
Multiplier.
Answer, yes. Hold on.
So,
Kyle, please fill in the gap.
So you may have heard about this new hit show called Hands Across the Water. If you like Two Legs and Andy's Sunday Live, I imagine that those tuning in right now would love Hands Across the Water. I know that you guys already talked about a little bit Let It Roll, how we deconstructed that one. We tore it down, brought it back together. And yeah, are we mainly Paul fans? Are we Beatles fans that love Paul? Are we also George fans? Let me know if that's a show that you'll be excited to listen to because we had a lot of fun recording it.
Okay.
Mike Walljasper, thank you. Yes, Hands Across the Water. We rock. Totally.
Okay. All right, here we go. Here's a multiplier question, okay? Here we go. Thank you, Mike. Okay.
Thank you.
Multiplier question. This is it. The whole 9 yards. You got to get this right. I need 3 answers and 1 comment to get the point. Thank you, Susan. Here we go. What 3 Lennon and McCartney originals did the Beatles record and perform at the Decca audition on the 1st of January, 1962? What 3 original songs did they perform and record at the Decca audition? 2 have been released commercially. 1 has not. There's your hint.
That's tough because so many of those were covers. I mean, how many did they do in total? Like 10 or 12, right?
About 15 or 16, as we talked about on Hands Across the Water.
Yeah, we just talked about this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I need 3 songs here for the right answer.
Do you think that they'll ever release it in full, or do you think they're worried about how that will ruin, like how it will affect their reputation?
Original Till There Was You was a cover there, Mr. Martinez. Close, but no cigar. Nope. Please, Please Me was not written yet. Please, Please, Please it was not written yet. Nope. Susan gets it wrong. Wow.
Oof.
No.
So that means that if Scott gets it right, then she'll tie it up. Or he'll tie it up.
Yeah. Yep.
So this is an example of a history question. That's nice.
This is a history question. Yes.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's a good question.
Yeah. There we go. We're going to assume that you got this right on the honest way, but yes, Scott O'Rourke gets Like Dreamers Do, Hello Little Girl, and Love of the Loved. That's the correct answer. Hello, Phoebe.
Andy says hi.
Hey,
Hello. Hope you made well with all your work there, girl, the last week.
Still
All
plugging
right.
away.
Okay. This has to rage on now because we have a tie, don't we?
Yes. So now this is going to be ranked choice voting. Everybody that has points can give it to either Susan or Scott. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
That'd
What
be
we
chaos.
should do is we're not going
Tiebreaker.
to tiebreaker. You guys tell us what category and I'll pick it. Okay. You in the comments tell us what category to go between the tiebreaker between Susan Gagne and Scott O'Rourke. We've got solo, movies, history, songs, America, or albums and singles. Tell us which one you would want us to hear for the final question here. This is basically for Scott to win or Susan to lose, and Scott to get an invite to the Discord. James Martinez says songs. Let's take a quick poll and pulse of the community here before we move on.
So in this one, it's going to be whoever gets it right first because it's only Susan and Scott.
That's it. Yeah, this is only for the two of them. 2 votes for songs. Lynn says songs. Okay, I think we're going to go with songs. No, you
and
guys.
Also,
no, only you guys can answer, right? That's how.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's for speed.
Yes. No, this is only if you want to play along in the comments, you can. But this is only for Susan and Scott, as they are neck and neck right now. Okay, so
Yeah.
All right, so it's going to be songs. Okay.
And in case this wasn't already clear, this is the most important thing you'll ever do in your entire life. This is not just for a Discord invite. This is for your reputation. This is for, this is how people of the future will remember you for.
Yeah. And we're
this
going to go
June
with
1st
another multi-answer question here, since this is a tie-breaking winning question here. Okay, hold on. Okay.
It's no big deal. Come on, it's just it's just your gravestone is all, that's all that's being determined.
Okay.
It'll either say winner or loser of June 1st trivia.
Here we go. Since we talked about Pepper a lot on the live show today, celebrating the anniversary of its release, let's ask a Sgt. Pepper themed question to close it out. What 4 individuals played the final E major chord on the piano at the end of A Day in a Life?
While they're thinking, James, yes, I loved the Cavern Club video. It was awesome. I'm loving all these VHS tapes. They're so fun to just pop in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What 4 people played the final E major chord at the piano crash at the end of A Day in the Life?
This is tough.
In one
Classic. Answer. Let's see who brings it in first. Yeah, everybody talking about this box set's making me want to get it. I've only heard it on digital.
Oh, dude, it's worthy.
Paul, Ringo, George, Martin, John.
Wrong. Wrong. Sad to say.
Sad to say. Oh wait, no, everybody, it's just Scott and Susan.
This is only, you can answer, but this is only for Scott and Susan.
Yes, but just don't say if they're right or not.
Yeah, that's been dormant for a while because of the 2 Legs show and then doing everything on that. Now Hands Across the Water. But yes, I will. I am going to redo that probably over the summer when I have a little more time. I will revisit some proggy stuff and do some of that stuff. Yes, I will.
So Scott's answer.
That's wrong.
Oh boy.
That's wrong. The correct answer is John, Paul, Ringo, and Mal.
No, Susan, I'm sorry. I was just pulling your leg.
Do we keep going on?
Yeah, I mean, we got to run it back.
We got to keep going. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't want their tombstone to say that they tied.
No.
What kind of tombstone is that?
I don't know, but here we go. Here we go. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep raging ahead here. Give it a minute.
I'm going to ask another question to the chat while you're thinking.
Please.
So, do you all have Let It Roll already? Did you buy it in 2009? Because we were talking on our show, we want to do maybe a posthumous George albums ranking, something or the other, where we're talking about the Scorsese documentary, Concert for George, Brainwashed, of course. So just I guess, but yeah. So James says you have it on CD. Do you just have it, or do you like listen to it? Like, what are your like? Oh, here's an easy question. Give me a number 1 to 10. Your thoughts on Let It Roll, just as a release.
Okay, here's a fun one. Okay,
Mhm.
here we go. Susan and Scotty. Hopefully, which two Beatles songs have references to sending postcards?
Okay, Beatles songs.
Yes.
Okay,
What two Beatles songs have references to sending postcards?
because what's the Ringo album? Postcards from Paradise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that. I guess I felt like we were kind of running short on time. I wanted to mention the other George compilations that are out there,
Yes.
but we didn't address that.
We didn't.
Yeah.
No.
All right, Susan, close us out here.
Close us out, girl.
And the winner.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
So let me get this straight. They get 12 right in a row, and now in the death match, they can't get it.
The correct answer is two of us and When I'm 64. Two of us writing postcards, sending letters on my wall. And one, of course, When I'm 64 has the postcard reference. Damn. Thought one of you guys for sure would have gotten that.
I'll flip a coin.
And on we go. Nobody wants to win.
Because everyone's having too much fun. They don't want you to go on with your life.
All right, hold on. I'm looking at the answers here right now. Okay. Okay.
So Beetle Eddie gives Let It Roll a 10.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, here we go. These are songs now. Remember, you voted for songs. Postman has card or letter. That's true, too. You're right. But that's a cover. That's a cover. And maybe that's why they're not including that, because that's not an original song. And specifically, yeah, I get what you're saying. Here we go. Okay. What two Beatles songs have, quote, round, round, round vocals, lyrics?
What?
What two Beatles songs have quotes round and round and round in the lyrics?
What, the Wheels on the Bus?
Beatles songs, you stunada.
So two songs with those exact words in the.
Correct.
Okay. I thought it was describing the lyrics.
No,
like
no.
What is around the
It
lyrics?
was written poorly. I cleaned it up.
There you go. Thank you. Thanks for your service.
Yeah. What two Beatles songs have the words round and round and round in the lyrics? It says vocals. That's poorly written.
Yeah, that's what tripped me up. Okay.
That's why it's poorly written.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one of them is obvious. Well,
Yes.
It comes straight to mind. I can't think of the other one. Well, you saw. Do you think you would have known it if you didn't see the?
I
answer?
would have gotten one, and then it would have taken me a minute to get the second one, but I think I would have gotten it. One I would have gotten right away. The second one would have required some thought.
Right. Do you like songs with the words round in it, Andy?
I do.
Nice. We'll make a tier list of our favorite songs with the words round.
Yeah. I see it's gotten very quiet in the chat. They're thinking.
Yeah.
Or they're Googling. No, they ain't Googling. They're honest. They're honest.
No.
They're honest peeps.
Folks. Yeah.
Come on there. Somebody win this. Either Susan keeps her throne or Scott joins the Discord community.
Mm-hmm. I love all these additions to your background. I mean, I feel like they've been populating pretty quickly.
In the last 6 months?
Even in the last two, since the fest.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got the big flaming pie thing.
Yep.
Wait, so that one just has all the Ubu Jubu CDs too, or
no? The artwork in there is the Ubu Jubu stuff is in the regular too.
Okay.
It's just it's got the Ballad of the Skeletons on vinyl etched, which whatever. But yeah, thank you. I did overhaul the back room here a little bit after the fest with the suitcase, the singles, Run Devil Run. Scott O'Rourke. You win.
Scott wins.
The answer is Dear Prudence with Round and Round and Round and Fool on the Hill. Well, technically you wrote it wrong, but I know what you mean. You said you meant Fool on the Hill. Susan
Wow.
gave up on this one. Wow. I would have thought you would have got that. Yeah. What's Lee saying here now? Nicky Hopkins played on Flowers in Dirt, which makes him the only musician to play. Nicky Hopkins is the only person to play on all four on all four Soul Beatle records. Yes. Paul played on Klaus, so that doesn't count. Right. Not really. I know what you're saying though. Scott O'Rourke, you win. You win the copy of the book, of Lucas Prazzi's book, which thankfully David Gargolino gave me an extra copy, which I'll send you, and I will give you an invite to our Discord community, complimentary, on 2 legs. Wow, Susan, I thought you would have had that one for sure. So Scotty O'Rourke wins the trivia this week here on the Sunday live show as we wind down. So,
hey, Patrick.
Patrick, thanks for being here, but we're about to wrap up now. So if you want to go watch the replay, you can. It was a great show today. A lot of great discussion topics, mainly centering around Pepper, which was really impressive and enjoyable to look back down memory lane. Kyle, I strongly urge, when you can, seek out a copy of the box set at an affordable price, because I think you'll enjoy it for sure.
What do you think it's going for?
Without looking it up, probably 100 and maybe 100 changes. I don't think it's skyrocketed too much.
Right. I mean, yeah. It's just CDs.
Yeah, it's just CDs. I mean, because it's not vinyl, so I think you can get it at a decent price. Scott, message me on email. Send me an email, or don't use LinkedIn. Just send me an email instead on 2 legs or something, or my regular email to do that, and we'll take care of you. Okay. So, for everybody watching today, thank you for being here once again on a Sunday. Here we are in June of 2025.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody here, for being here. You know who you are. I'm not going to run through you all. You're all here just about every Sunday with the Sunday family. Beautiful day out here in the Northeast. And enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy happy collecting, happy Beatles, happy Paul, happy everything. So
happy everything. I like that.
Happy everything. So, yes. Thank you very much to the whole Sunday family, my parents and the MVP especially, and the Sunday family as well. That's always usually here every week. So, on behalf of Mr. Hand on the Run, Andy Nichols here from 2 Legs signing off. We'll see you next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.